35 seconds. 35 seconds, you should press start.
Okay.
35 seconds.
Thank you, Chris. You set this up really quickly. Hello, I'm Sue. Welcome to Fireside Chat. Sorry. It is nice to spend some time with you today. Sorry. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about becoming visible to AI. So, like if you can have a couple of, Google searches, find your business, and then you send customers to the business that is maybe the first recommended or the second recommended on Google search, right? You can get a lot of business from Google for people who are searching for your business. So that's great. And a lot of us understand, how Google works, like that it looks for, different mentions of keywords, like it's trying to match the keyword exactly to different kinds of places in Google that have that keyword. So it can like kind of look at a zillion results and then rank like the most likely that is going to match the person's question or query, right? So to rank higher in Google does not mean that AI will rank you and recommend you. So I wanted to talk about how do you become visible to AI. So it's going to take a little while to explain it because I really want to show my screen and then we can have a better discussion of it. But I think what I'll have to do is maybe do that on the next show because I have to get the people here to show me how to project onto these huge TVs that are everywhere. That I know that it's possible. And so, I wanna just talk about what does AI look for, right? So if you like have your hours and your basic information, like AI is looking for that too. So by AI, I mean if we're just going to talk about Gemini by Google, we're going to talk about ChatGPT from OpenAI, and we're going to talk about Claude from Anthropic. Some of those major, large language models, like what are they looking for and how do they sift through, a zillion listings and decide that your company is going to be in the top 3 or something like that. So they're definitely looking for certain like aspects, right? So often, because we don't have any real, experience of like, how does AI read a website? A lot of times, if like I have an audit that's done on my, I can do an audit on a small business, then I can see whether AI can actually read the website. If they can't read the website, then they're not going to be able to certainly understand anything that that business is offering. Or even seeing like, does this business are they still in business? Are they open for business? It can't really tell anything. So of course, if it can't read a website, it's definitely not going to recommend that business. So if they don't have any reviews, like a lot of people, I would say more like 90% of people check reviews before either going to a business or buying something online. Certainly if you're going to go to a restaurant, you definitely want to check to see what the reviews are and how many stars and what do people say. So not just good reviews, but also 1 star or like not that great reviews, because then you can kind of see the range of opinions that is honest. Like it's not like Google can pay, you can pay Google for good reviews. You have to earn them, right? The old-fashioned way with products and services. And so it's a pretty good barometer, I would say, of how your business is doing. Because, kind of like in the old days, if there was like a lineup out the door, one restaurant, and then the same similar restaurant has like no one, and no one goes to that place, and there's no lineup ever, there's no people in there, and you're just like wondering, why does the other business, why do they have that incredible energy and all of that business and all of those good recommendations and testimonials and good reviews or great reviews, and the other company doesn't. So they must be doing certain things right? They must be doing certain things better. And there's a lot of variables. So if the business has never been mentioned anywhere that AI actually trusts, then that's a factor. So if there's like a Detroit, Best of Detroit or something like that, magazine or whatever, and, your business is never in there, then yeah, it's never going to recommend your business. So the interesting thing is to have a couple of fixes for your website that make it possible for AI to understand it, to read it, and then to optimize what AI is kind of looking for to recommend those businesses. So a couple of those things are like the structured data that Google reads directly. It has to be like in a certain format. So if you have LLMs and TXT files that tell AI who you are, that's really important. And then Google My Business or Google Business Profile, weekly posts, review responses, those kinds of things. You want to optimize your Google Business Profile in different kinds of ways. So you definitely want to have like reviews, and you want to have like recent reviews. And not only that, but you also want to reply to reviews. So if people are either criticizing or they're praising or they're asking a question, it's really important for owners or business people to go into their Google reviews and keep up on it. So that way, if someone's asking a question, are you open on Father's Day? You definitely want to go in and address that question, because you don't want people to think, oh, they never check. They're not active. They don't care. They never look at this. So why should I give them my business? Why should I go over there? Because if they're closed, that's going to be a major embarrassment for me, so I don't want to go to a business that isn't recommended well or doesn't have like a lot of good reviews, because you're wondering about that business, especially if like a situation where, say you're going to be in a certain city for like a week, and you want to check out, before you go there, you want to check and see, say it's Chicago, you want to check to see where's the best, deep dish pizza in Chicago. So the really good restaurants that people go to are going to be, maybe 1, 2, 3 on the recommended search for Google, and it's going to have a ton of reviews, and people go there all the time, and that's kind of how you find, what business, that they're open, that they're responding to questions, and maybe they're doing specials or they're doing like seasonal offerings. And so they're kind of engaged, that they want new business, that they're soliciting, people who are local as well as people who happen to be visiting. If you're just in Chicago for a week, you want to make sure that you're going to have this nice, deep dish pizza at a place that actually exists, and not a place that you have to wonder if they're open or not. That's pretty bad. So it's really cool to get like an AI audit, because then you can see like how exactly is my business showing up for AI to recommend, because a lot of businesses, they don't even think about that, and it's completely different to Google. Like it's totally different to Google search. Is like, how do the AI models recommend or not recommend your business? So it isn't that like AI search is coming. It's already here. The businesses that figure this out and get this right in the next like 6 months are going to have such an advantage over a long term over the ones who wait. So if you have any questions about it, certainly you can reach out to me. And it's just a really good thing to understand how things work and what kinds of things that AI is looking for. And it's just really important that you get found. It's so important that you get found. So some of the places, some of the things that it kind of like recommends. So all I would do is put your business into this audit tool, and it will tell you exactly like on several scores of different things. So it'll have like, does AI understand your website? Are there trust signals? So trust signals are things like reviews and recommendations and things like that people are recommending your business or service. Okay, so are there trust signals? Also, there's business consistency. So has your business been open for a while? Are your hours pretty normal? Are you kind of like responding to queries? And then citation consistency, that's a bit harder. That's if there's people who are recommending your business, or like say somebody does a podcast in your city and they happen to talk about your restaurant. That's great, because then that means that there's different kinds of links to other sort of sites that your restaurant or business is being mentioned in. So that's really great. That's like a citation consistency. So, you really want to be one of the top ones that are showing up for a search. And so it actually, you can look up your competition too. If you don't just want to look up your own company, you can look up the competition and you can see how they're doing on all these different aspects and factors. So you can look up and say, you know what, like, are they recommended by any AI engine? And so if you look up your competition, we can look and see what they're doing right and where they can improve, right? And then that way you'll have an idea of like, oh, is that why they have a lineup out the door? It's really nice to know exactly why, right? It's so important to understand what your competition is doing. So, it's interesting. People don't think that, that AI has a problem actually, understanding your website, but it really does. Like it has to be clear content. Your information has to be structured and easy to find. And you have to, like, if there's outside validation that they recommend your business, that's amazing because that's very believable and credible. So if there's gaps in any of these four things that I went over, then that can really reduce your chances of being found. So just super important to be very clear, right? So clarity is like so important, and not just clarity in terms of a human, like being able to find your business or read your website, but also how does AI read it, right? So it's interesting, in terms of the readability. How does AI read and understand your business data? So one of these kinds of things that affect it is called schema markup. It's your business's resume for AI. Super important. It's a block of structured code on your website that tells ChatGPT, Google AI, and Perplexity exactly who you are, what you offer, how much you charge, and how to book. So without it, AI has to guess, and when AI guesses, it recommends your competitors who do have this data. So you can see how important it is, because they could be recommending the next restaurant, in the same town 100 times compared to them maybe not recommending your business at all. So there's very important, these are like signals, right? So the completeness of the schema it's just what kind of business type is it? Where's your location? What are the GPS coordinates? What are your business hours? What kinds of things do you deal with? What service areas do you serve? What's your review rating like? Is there a service menu? Is there like frequently asked questions? Is there, kind of like just organized, easy to read site? Is there booking and contact information? That's so important. And so there may be questions, that AI cannot answer about your business, right? So they may not know. Say somebody says, find a restaurant near me. And if your restaurant does not have the GPS coordinates, then you won't come up in that search, right? If somebody's saying, is this business open on Saturdays? And you don't have hours, then it won't recommend because it won't know what your hours are. So it's really important that you have all of those kind of factors, like readable and accurate, right? And of course, you can always update things. Say in the summer you leave earlier on a Friday or something like that. Then, of course, then you just put in that you leave at 3 on Friday or whatever. And that will, prevent somebody being disappointed if they get off work at 4 and they try to come over to give your business, right? So, so identity is really important, right? So can AI identify your business? Secondly, authority. Does AI trust your business? Like, do they even know who you are? And third, can AI send you customers? So that's conversion. So the single biggest lever for AI visibility is schema markup. When someone asks ChatGPT, Gemini, or Perplexity a question about your industry, AI reads structured data to decide who to recommend. Right now, AI can only answer, as many of these factors that you have of these common questions about your business. So every missing signal sends that customer to a competitor instead. So you can see how important it is to get an audit. Businesses with complete schema markup are 3 to 5 times more likely to appear in AI-generated recommendations. A properly structured schema block tells AI your name, your location, your hours, your services, your prices, reviews, and how to book, all in one machine-readable package. So, like your website, you can make it beautiful and have lovely images and all kinds of things. And but if AI crawlers can't access your website, then nothing else in this report matters. You're invisible. So can AI engines access, read, and understand your website content? These checks determine whether AI can even find your business before it decides to recommend you. So, a couple things you can do is if you have to have an AI site map that has specific instructions. You want to have the HTTPS encryption active, which is the secure part about your website. That AI can discover all of your pages. That the description is found for AI summaries, so that there's like a meta description present, so it can read it. And that AI crawlers can read your rules. There has to be a page title for the title tag. There has to be no duplicate content issues. So if your website is well configured for AI to access, then AI engines can efficiently read and understand your content. So trust signals are super important. Reviews are the number one trust signal AI uses to decide who to recommend. So low reviews mean fewer leads. AI engines use your Google reviews as a key trust signal. More reviews, higher ratings, and recent activity all increase your chances of being recommended. So if you have, say, 9 reviews, it's more, try to make an effort to ask customers for reviews in the next little while. Try to get them up and over 25. So an average rating, how many stars people rank your service or business, below 4 stars is going to be hurting your visibility. In the last 90 days, how many verified reviews do you have? So if you have too few, it's going to seem like nobody goes to your business. And the response rate, if you don't ever respond to questions or even compliments, but also criticisms, you do have to respond. You have to respond so that it looks like it's an actively managed page, right? So AI engines, they won't have enough evidence to recommend your business. So definitely prioritize generating fresh, positive reviews immediately. So, try to have a promotion or something, like you get a coupon for leaving a review. And of course, you want to have honest reviews. So AI assistants actually favor businesses with strong review signals. And if your review velocity, your time spent between like answering questions, it should be pretty fast. So you should be checking it a lot more often than you probably are. So it looks like it's being managed. So your artificial intelligence, like it's looking at your competition too, right? So it's comparing their scores, their reviews, their AI signals to you and assigning a kind of like a score. So business consistency is really important because mismatched business info makes AI think that you're invisible and unreliable. It will recommend competitors with clean data instead. So inconsistent business data is one of the top reasons AI avoids recommending a business, just inconsistent data. AI cross-references your Google profile against your website to verify your identity. So you know how when you open up a Google business profile, you have to prove and verify your location, right? So then since that has been verified by Google, then AI checks against the business profile, Google business profile, certain things about, what your phone number is, what your address is, what your business name is. It should be consistent. It has to be consistent between Google and your website. So because AI engines are going to cross-reference Google to your website. And very much mismatches between Google business profile and your website. It's reducing your chances of being recommended if it doesn't like correlate perfectly. And how consistent your cross-checking your listings across the web. So inconsistencies or missing profiles reduce your trust score. So AI systems cross-reference your business listings across directories to verify your identity. So inconsistencies or missing listings reduce AI trust in your business. So for example, on Yelp, are you showing up on Yelp? That's going to verify your business identity. Do you have a Facebook business listing? Claiming it on Facebook helps AI systems verify your business identity. Do you have a listing showing the Better Business Bureau? So claiming it on BBB is also a good thing for AI to find you. The Yellow Pages, do you have a listing in Yellow Pages? So this is another way of verifying your business identity. And Bing Places. I don't think a lot of people really use Bing as much, but if you claim your business on Bing Places, then it helps AI systems verify your business identity. And also LinkedIn. Does your business have, a listing on LinkedIn? And that is, a good thing for if people are looking on LinkedIn for different, searches. They can find you. So if multiple directories show missing or incorrect information, that makes it difficult for AI systems to verify your business, and that significantly reduces your recommendation likelihood. So what can we do to fix these kinds of scores? What can we do to have a greater impact on being recommended by AI? If you have structured data, remember we were talking about the schema. So just make sure that your website is laid out that it can be read by AI with those different kinds of things that are very specific. And you can just ask for these kinds of things. Like you'd need to add local business schema markup to your homepage. And that's like the single highest fix. if you could kind of do a little contest or just ask people for more reviews, that would be great. If you generate recent reviews, AI engines definitely favor businesses that have fresh review signals. So remember, ask for them, yes, but also ask for like look at if people are making comments or asking questions, have someone on your team answering those questions and directing them however they want to answer the question and respond back. And then that way, if it's a criticism or some kind of a problem, then you can actually kind of speak to it, and then other people will see that you are answering people's questions, and that even if it's a criticism, that you're responding to it and you're trying to fix the situation or trying to make something better. So we talked about the LLMS file, that you want to add this file. This emerging standard helps AI engines to understand your business better. So you can create a plain text file and upload it to your website. And I'm not sure why all of this activity is going on, but I think it's I think this is intentional, especially that crazy sound. I really do enjoy the station staff so much because we have a lot of fun together. So you can tell right now they're trying to get my attention or something, or just mess with me, and it's working beautifully. It really is. So one-time fixes are that you can try to improve your customer experience so that you can get rise higher with the star rating. Even going up to from 3 to 4 is a major shift. And of course, if you're seeing Google reviews, definitely try to respond and reply to them. This signals engagement and authority to AI engines. So ongoing actions, what can you just sort of build into your business over time so that you can try to keep your score reasonable or keep it high, right? You want to generate new reviews consistently. So after every job or every sale, you could build something into your process where it's we'll give you 10% off or whatever if you give us a review. And then people can think about, is this something, how do I even do that? And if they have their phone on them, you can just help them right there. You can send them a link, or you can get them to find your business, and then they can do a review right there, because some people don't really know how to leave a review. Like if they've never done it before and no one's ever showed them, then how would they know how to leave a review? So I think it's really good if you're in person to actually help that person to do that, because they may not have any idea how to do that. And after that, then they can leave reviews, for all kinds of different businesses that they frequent in their life. So keep your Google business profile updated, and make sure that if there's, hours that are changing, or if there's photos you can add, if you can do a post for different holidays or different occasions, or if you're having some kind of a special or a sale or some kind of a launch. If you're adding new services, make sure that you have posts for all of these things, and maybe go live on Instagram or YouTube and try to get some, video as well on your site. So if you would like for me to interview you and you'd like to come on my show, then yeah, absolutely. You can reach out, and then you can, we can schedule a Friday evening where you can either come into the station or you can join. Our station will send you a Zoom meeting link, and you just click on it, and then you're in the station, in the studio. So it's really easy and possible for people to be on the show without being in Troy, Michigan. So yeah, definitely publish fresh content regularly. New content gives AI more signals about your expertise, your services, and just you're being in business, and and actually showing up on these different different events and things like that you're having. And audit your citations quarterly. So make sure that you check your top directory listings. Those ones we talked about, Yelp and Better Business Bureau and whatever that like those kinds of things, even LinkedIn. Check to make sure that they are recommending your business, that you're actually in there. So there's different things. I just wanted to talk about a couple of things today, and there's so much that goes into it, and you wouldn't think that just because Google recommends your business, that AI will. That's completely not true. It's two completely different search criteria, that these two different things. And so I think you can see that it's very specific, it's very directed, and you'd have to know what AI was looking for to be able to fulfill all of these kind of like aspects of what AI is looking for. And it's not obvious, so your website might look amazing to people, but AI might not be able to read it at all. And then it's definitely not going to recommend you. If it can't read your website or you don't have one, then definitely that's something that you can change. You can change that within a day. It does not have to be a complicated thing. But if somebody goes to, your .com domain and there's no website, it's definitely going to affect how people think about your business, right? They're going to think, are you under construction? Are you still in business? Are you out of business now? Like, they wouldn't have any information, if you didn't have a website. Is something wrong? Okay. So it's just a good thing to check in on how you're doing, right? And see like what can you optimize, but also what can you fix. And a lot of these things, they don't cost a lot of money, right? So it's just things that you can either have your team do, or if you want help, of course, it's really great to reach out. And I will definitely do like a show where I show my screen so that we can do like a sample visibility audit. And then if you would like to have an audit of your business, or if you're a sole operator and you'd like to see how your competitors are doing, how are you ranking against them in terms of AI recommendations, not just Google, but also is AI recommending you, I'd be happy to help you out. So yeah, it's a really good thing to be aware of it, because these things are so specific and they're not intuitive, and no one teaches you about this. No one says, "Oh, this is what AI is looking for." Like, no, we don't even think about that. We just think, "Oh, if I'm on Google My Business, if I show up, then AI will be able to find me because, of course, I'm here." But to AI, you know what? You might not be visible at all. And in fact, if it can't even read your website, or you don't even have hours, or you don't have like a location, or you don't have like information or reviews, then yeah, AI is going to wonder if you're still in business, right? Definitely not going to recommend you. That's for sure. So anyway, have a good afternoon, and I hope to talk with you again. And, I just keep learning, because, our time is now, like our time to learn about AI is now. And, even if you don't choose to do very much in it, it's just good to have an idea of how things work, because then you might know people who have small businesses or who are sole operators who really would like to be recommended by AI. So I think it's a good thing to have somewhere to, to go to ask questions. And I'll be happy to help you with any questions that you might have. So talk to you soon. All right. So take good care. And